Hello everyone, today we got to play High Season Grand Hotel Roll and Write. So this game is based on the Grand Austria Hotel, but it is a roll and write version.
I'm not sure why they dropped the Austria from the name, because you would think they'd want that association to be direct. I mean, you can look at the box and the art and tell it's Grand Austria Hotel related, but if you were just looking at the name, you might pass it by.
But before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell because board games are amazing. And that's what we do here at Legends of Nirvana. Now, Randy, can you tell us a little bit more about High Season?
I can tell you a little more. It is currently on Board Game Geek with a rating of 7.0, but no rank yet because this just came out.
It's hot off the presses.
Yes. 2 to 4 player game, age 12 and up. I'm not sure. I mean, the iconography is a little complex. The game itself is simple. 45 to 90 minutes. That's got to be with 4 players, because with 2 players, it's lasted maybe 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's with your more players.
Yeah. Designed by Virginio Gigli, Ryan Hendrickson, and Simone Luciani, which 2 out of those 3 were actually the designers of Grand Austria Hotel. So one new person, Ryan Hendrickson. Art is by Clemens Franz, the same artist from Grand Austria Hotel, and published by Lookout Games, which so is the original. The MSRP on this is $32.99. Right now, the cheapest online retailer is Tabletop Merchant for $25.49. The Card House has its second cheapest for $26.39. That's who we picked it up from, because they're our local friendly game store. And then Miniature Market had it for $26.99. So those are the 3 cheapest that have it in stock.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about quality of components. You have your wooden white dice.
They're very similar to what you got.
A very curly board.
Yeah, it's curled bad.
That one's really bad. Then you do have your dry erase boards. I do like the fact that either side's different.
Yeah.
As well as your guest boards. So it gives a lot of variability. Yeah. These boards, not bowed, they're actually kind of nice. You get your standard...
Well, they're not even standard, though, because usually they have a thing at the end where you can take the cap off and put it on the end. This one doesn't even have that. So you're taking the cap off and just setting it aside. And they have a really bad smell to them when you open them.
I'll give it a 5.5.
Yeah, that's about where I am. I don't know. I mean, just because it has the flavor of the original, but I mean, there's nothing special about this. And
as far as quality components go, yeah,
is bad.
All right, so moving on to the theme. This is Grand Austria Hotel. The iconography is the same. You've literally got the same setup, the same artwork. It's there.
Yeah, it's a simplified version of the gameplay, so you don't have the pressure luck element of if you wait till the end, you can re-roll the dice, taking one out and hope for better dice combos.
Yeah.
You're just stuck with the roll.
Yeah, I mean, but overall, I mean, that's more gameplay, but thematically, plus you don't have resources in this one.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got money, but that's about it. So because of the lighter version, you're not getting nearly as much theme. But I do think that they were true to the original game.
It definitely has the feel of the original game in a much quicker gameplay.
And more condensed.
Easier to set up, though.
Yeah, way easier. Top notch. So with that, I'll probably give this a 6.
Yeah, probably. That's about where I am.
Okay, so moving on to the rulebook. It was a quick read for you, right?
Oh, yeah. It's only 8 pages long as far as the rulebook. It has no cover, really. Goes straight into the components, but it does have pictured components, which I like.
I think I only wandered off twice while you were reading these.
Yeah. The setup is super simple because literally you just get the boards out, you put them on random sides, and you start rolling the dice. I mean, that's the setup. As far as there's a nice explanation of what all the different attributes of your board are, because when you first get out the board, it does look a little intimidating, but it kind of explains and walks you through what all the different sections of your board are, as well as I don't know if you call them some employees, I guess, on the other board. Servants, I think that's what they call them in this. And then basically it goes into the gameplay after that. It's pretty straightforward. There was really no confusion as far as how the gameplay worked. The only difference that was kind of a little confusing is in this game, there's a stairwell that goes up the middle of the board. Well, not quite the middle, but close to the center of the board. And that basically allows you to access the higher floors. But that means, like in the previous version of the game, when you were at the end of a hallway, you couldn't go. You could go up vertically to be adjacent. And this, it's always adjacent, starting from the stairwell. So
yeah. So the first time we played it, I cheated. I didn't know I cheated, but the second time I did not cheat. And we tied second one.
Well, yeah, we'll get into that during gameplay. So, as far as the rule book goes, I think it does a fine job. I mean, it's a quick read. It gets you into the game. It's what it's supposed to do. And there's no confusion. It does have a nice cheat sheet on the back. It would be nice if we each had one. But
it's not really.
I mean, this isn't a table hog, so it's easy to leave this out on the table.
Yeah. And once you know it, you know it. So.
Yeah. I'll probably go ahead and give that, probably rulebook, I'll give it a 9.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to end up taking, to start out gameplay, we're going to take all the dice, Randy.
Well, you'll take enough for the player count. So for 2-player, it's 10.
Oh, so you do get more with more players?
Yeah, you get more dice.
So the strength would be higher. I think this would be more fun at more because it felt like... all right, so then you collect the dice of all the same color. Or not color, number. They're all white.
Yes, we all got the same duck color, amazingly. What do you know? Every die.
All right, so if I'm first player, because I rolled the dice, so that would imply that I'm the first player for this round, I'm going to pick one of these actions. Now, some of the actions that I can take is, for example, number 1 lets you, how many ever dice are there. So right now there's only 1, so if I picked it up, it'd only be of 1 power. I get to circle one of my rooms, which is preparing the room. Basically, you're sending in someone to make sure the sheets are nice and everything's clean and ready for a guest to occupy it. Then the second action is you're going to spend money to put people in. Normally they pay you, but that is not the case here. You have to pay them to come visit your hotel. No, well, most of the rooms in the second, third, and fourth row all have something to give you when you're done.
In the standard game, you would feed them, and then they would go off to their room, and you didn't necessarily have to pay for that action because everything's been converted into money.
No, I know. It's a little funny. It's all.
Yeah.
All right, so you pay them, and you can then slash the circle in this case and say that the room is occupied because you got someone to fulfill the room. If there's any bonuses on that room, that's when you get it, is once you occupy the room. Now, sometimes this will, for roll and write, most roll and writes do a little bit more going back and forth.
Yeah.
That wasn't really the case here with
this
game.
You didn't bounce around a lot. Occasionally when you filled a room, you would get to trigger a slight combo where that would let you do another room, which might give you another action.
It let me do like 3 max. So, I mean, still... then number 3 is 1 or 2. So basically it gives you another strength that you can either do 1 or 2 actions. The 1 or 2 die action, not 1 or 2 actions, but it's just based on the number there. 4, you either get to take the number of die and money or the number of statues.
Your busts, yes.
Yeah, but the statues will end up getting you sometimes an additional action, additional things, or straight up victory points if you meet certain criteria. If you don't get enough, however, in a group of rounds, then you'll get negative victory points. So just kind of being aware of that. Then you can hire guests. So normally in the old game, you had different cards that you can then hire for employees. That's not the case here. Here you actually buy them and you mark them off. Like I said, you can flip the side to do different whatever. There's multiple ones in here. So everything's different all the time. So that's kind of neat. But they give you different player abilities or one-time actions or in-game victory points. So that's kind of cool. And then the last one is, it's basically a wild action, the number of pips, except you have to pay $1 to do it.
Yeah.
And then that's the game. You do so many rounds, and then
7 rounds.
Ends.
Yeah.
And then it ends.
It ends super fast.
It does end super fast. Overall, it was fun. I enjoyed it. If I'm looking for a quick, because Austria Hotel is fun, and I really enjoy it. But if you're needing something quick, I think this is great. I think this works out really, really nicely.
I think if you're traveling, this is easier to carry and get out. Now,
absolutely.
This game left me for wanting to play Grand Austria Hotel. That's the big problem. The other thing is I don't feel like all of the boards are the same. I mean, they're obviously not because they have different actions on them. But in this game, money is crucial. And if you don't have a money generating source, you can be in a bad situation where you take in your loans and you just don't have any actions you can pay for because you don't have anything left and there's no
you
way.
hope they're a force. That's
Yeah.
what you do.
Yeah, because like the first game I had no place that I could get money because there's money sources potentially on your board based on actions, and then there's money sources most likely on your servants. I had neither in the original board combination.
Yeah, it becomes difficult.
Yeah. No, the second time around, I had a couple of money sources, and I ended up never having to take a loan, and we ended up two different strategies, but came out tying. So
yeah, well, I think the one thing is though, I think it really depends on the dice rolls. For example, if you get high enough in your 1s and 2s and 3s, you don't really have to have money because the negative, cost.
Twos don't offset. Or ones don't.
One doesn't offset. You're correct.
Yeah,
twos do.
Twos do.
2 and 3 do. Depending if you're crossing out a room. But I was very fortunate to be able to combo like my 2s, so that worked out for me. The first round, the second one, the 1s did, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So I prefer my 2 ability. No, I agree. Money is super tight in this game, and you're constantly. The second game, I did end up having to take loans. The first game, I did not. But then I ended up getting a lot of negative victory points on my statues. So there's that. But overall, I still enjoyed it. I still thought it was good.
Yeah.
I think you're right. This is great for traveling. Like, if you take this when we're traveling to go XYZ, I wouldn't be mad. I'd be like, oh, yeah, great, let's play it. Score-wise, I'd probably give it a 7. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Grand Austria Hotel, the original game, is much higher.
Correct.
But, yeah, I think 7's fair for this. It's a fun little roll and write. It'd be nice if there was a little more comboing, and it'd be definitely nice if the variable player boards had a little more balance around the money, because I just think that that's so crucial in this game compared to the old one. That the fact that you could get a combo that puts you. I mean, I scored way below you the first game.
Well, but it was also the first game we played too,
yeah.
So it could be a little bit different in that aspect.
Yeah, but I mean, given the fact that we tied the second time around, I think it shows that there was a disparity of that board.
No, I don't know, because again, it was the first time we played through it, and you got to realize I almost doubled my victory points the second playthrough. Yeah. So it could very well be just the first time we played it. So it'd be interesting for you to play that board again now that we're more familiar. So I mean, again, there's a possibility, but I don't know about that. I just think he didn't like the fact that he lost so badly. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We had an absolute blast today. Hopefully you'll come hang out with us again. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.